Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Can you believe it? Hour number 2 after we blinked our eyes. All right, so on the Trump verdict, a few questions on this. Okay, so he loses the case at $83.3 million. Do you feel Trump is guilty? I think there's no way in heck this man did it. I don't believe any of this crazed nutbag, what she said. There's two things. Trump, this is fantastic. He tweeted this out, or whatever, Truth Socialed this out, that she tweeted out in 2015. How do you know your unwanted sexual advance is unwanted until you advance it? And yet here she is saying this man did an advance that was unwanted. He was not, by the way, this is so important. All these leftist liberal media groups, they call him a rapist. He's not convicted of anything, not only criminally, this was civil, but he was not found liable in rape. He was found liable for, quote, sexual abuse. That's it. Sexual abuse. Now, this woman doesn't even know when it happened. She thinks it was 1996. This same woman last year was on fake news CNN with Anderson Cooper. And she said, rape is sexy. She literally said that. To which Anderson Cooper's like, oh, and he's like, oh, and then he threw it to break. It's one of the best clips ever to see this woman. She is freaking nuts. She is nuts. Take a look and see if you see this woman much on fake news CNN after this verdict today. They don't want her on there. She's freaking nuts. They just want to use the story. So they have all these extras. Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. I don't see anything of her on fake news CNN today. They do not want to show her because she's a freaking nut. And everybody watching goes, this woman's nuts. And she won $83.3 million for saying that I didn't do it. So I guess he literally is not allowed to say I didn't do it. But it's him. And the best, I learned this a long time ago with some high-powered lawyers, 2 companies ago that I worked for. They said, or I should say the last company I worked for in Atlanta, they had us all, the whole station, get visited by high-powered lawyers just to coach us as on-air people about how to, what defamation is, liable and stuff, just to arm us as we do our shows. And the best defense to one of these suits, one of these accusations, is to tell the truth. The best way to not get sued is to tell the truth. And that's what Trump did. And for this, you're liable. I mean, this is a disgrace. This is a pathetic, stupid disgrace. And I don't think he should ever stop. Here's my questions on this for you tonight, as he has been found guilty of an $83.3 million verdict. I'll play just a quick tidbit before we go to your call here on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Alina Hava was asked a few things at this public press conference in New York City when they walked out. Here it is.
No. I'm glad you asked me that question. No, I'm not having any second thoughts about representing President Trump. It is the proudest thing I could ever do. What I am having second thoughts about is the license that I stand here with that the people in there are supposed to have. I have not spoken because I respect my ethics while I'm on trial. But let me now speak about what has happened. I have sat on trial after trial for months in this state, the state of New York. Attorney General Letitia James, and now this. Weeks. Why? Because President Trump is leading in the polls, and now we see what you get in New York. So don't get it twisted, whoever asked me that question. I am so proud to stand with President Trump.
There's just a teeny bit of it. You can see the rest on my Twitter feed at Chris Crock Show. That's at Chris Crock Show, ChrisKrock. Matthew, by the way, the question before we go to Matthew is, and we have several lines open for you as well, at 800-288-WBAP. Sound off now. 800-288-9227. But do you feel Trump is actually guilty in this? Is it a ploy by Democrats to slap another name on him like rapist, liar to hurt his campaign? And how low do you think Democrats could actually go on all this? I mean, some have, by the way, I got to tell you this. The DA in Manhattan, Alvin Bragg, who brought criminal charges against Trump, this stupid case, a civil case against Trump, and the DA down in, actually, I'll just say this, Alvin Bragg in New York City with his criminal case against Trump, which the federal prosecutors would not prosecute. The previous DA said there's nothing here. And then second of all, Fani Willis, the one in who's accused of having relations and paying off with the money to prosecute Trump, paying her off her lover and funding their vacations. This woman's getting investigated by the state Senate of Georgia now. I mean, she's done. But both of those, Alvin Bragg and Fani Willis, were flown over to D.C. and they met with the President of the United States team. Why on God's name would a local federal prosecutor in Atlanta, in Fulton County, and in New York City, why would they fly to New York to D.C. and meet with the president's team? Have you ever heard of any prosecutor? Have you heard of any prosecutor ever doing that? No. You know why? This is a national coordinated Democrat campaign strategy to put 90 charges or 91 charges against him, to call him a rapist, to call him a loser, to call him not a loser but a liar, to call him a criminal, to call him a this and a that, and it's all fake. And you know what? He's going to get the nomination. He's pretty much got it. We're going to talk about that next. Nikki Haley was asked to leave the scene and step down by the RNC, and there's some movement on that today that I'll tell you all about that coming up next. We're going to talk about it. But here's my questions for you. Do you feel Trump is guilty? Is it a ploy by Dems to slap another name on him like rapist and liar to hurt his campaign? And how low do you think Democrats could go? And some on different shows have brought up the A word, which rhymes with procrastination. Matthew in Arlington, you're on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3.
Hey, Chris, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Not bad. I honestly don't think that he is guilty, and they will go to whatever measures they can to make sure that he's not the president.
Yes. They don't want us to be able to decide for ourselves. I mean, yeah. That's all it is.
That's right. And my opinion is it all comes down to morals.
How so?
And on the conservative side, generally, you start with, like, you're usually raised with some sort of moral standards. Mm-hmm. Well, and they're usually revolving around God, religion, or whatever you would say. Well, on the left, they don't do that.
Correct.
It's their whole ideology is godlessness.
Yes, it is. Their whole ideology is death with abortion. Their whole ideology is lawlessness and systemic racism, all these lies, DEI. That's their religion. Their religion is that and climate. That's exactly right. They have faith. Their faith is in political causes and radical causes, fake science.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
But that's why it all comes down to morals. They do not live by the same moral standards that conservatives do, and that conservatives don't like to hear that. But it all comes down to that in the end. You
know what else? But there's moral standards, whether they be based on faith or other things, that the middle of the road people, the moderates, and the independents have that see this and they don't believe these lies.
No, and it's not everyone, but it's when you side with, when you're with these activists and you're on the far left, which is really the moral standards that I'm talking about. They don't go on the same. They're not on the same. I'm not sure how to put it, but they don't. Whenever conservatives say, "Oh, they would never do that," that is why that we're always wrong. They don't go by the same standards that we do.
I agree, and I appreciate your call, Matthew. Look forward to your next one from Arlington. All right, up next, UT eliminates the scholarship program for illegals following the DEI ban that we passed in Texas. This is beautiful, and there's some other laws they bring up in this, and it's great. And you're going to hear an illegal complain, and she's like angry about this. She's an illegal. Get out of here. Stand by. That's next. News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Make it a preset. Now, this is awesome. Remember our DEI ban that we passed? It started the first of the year. And because of that, according to the Dallas Morning News, UT has eliminated the scholarship program for illegals. I could not be happier. Yet an illegal is complaining, saying that she's furious. She's furious. She's an illegal at UT. And she says this makes a big difference. It's a powerful tool. To take this away, it's cruel. The university says in their justification in emails back and forth that the Dallas Morning News got, says it may violate the new ban on DEI. And they also reference something passed by Congress in '96. Yeah, well, why they don't think that's part of it, because if it was, they wouldn't have stopped this. In fact, the news reported that several states still have these illegal scholarships. Arizona and several others. We, at least at UT, killed it. And I could not be happier. She says she was blindsided by the university, and it's unjust and unfair. Hey, what do you say to her? What do you say? I tell her, too bad. You're mad? Tell your parents you're mad. Tell them, why did you do this to me? Why did you bring me in and put me in this situation? Be mad at your parents! And be grateful that you're here, even as an illegal, instead of being an ingrate. No thank you. And if you don't like it, there's the door. Go back to the country you're from. And don't tell me this is your country, because it's not. Because your parents brought you here as an illegal. You are not an American citizen. You are not one of us. You are an illegal. It just is what it is. I'm not trying to be rude, but it's true. Has anybody told her that? Has anybody said you don't belong here? If my parents smuggled me, let me tell you something. I thought about this with my son. He's going to Japan, and he is oh my gosh. I want to tell you that your prayers worked, because he hit the level. He is now N3 in Japanese language. 5 is beginner. 4 is the second step. 3 is the third step. He's now right in the middle for proficiency in one of the hardest languages in the world. And I could not be more proud of my son. And he got the official, even though it was already happening, but he officially got the letter from the university in Tokyo today saying you're accepted. It is a joke compared to here, like how they work there. I mean, they're a brilliant society and everything, and I have a lot of admiration for them, and I love that Toyota's here. But everything's late, he's noticed, compared to here. It's kind of funny. But he's going in a couple months. My point being, though, is scholarship. The young man has gotten a lot of scholarship money, and I can't tell you how hard we work together. We're a team. I don't have lots of money for him. What I do have is time, and I help him. And so I have worked with him in tandem for 3 years now for scholarships. And this young man has gotten at least half. I think he's probably going to be at 60%, maybe even 70% of his college paid for in scholarships in an in-state university right here in DFW, living at home. So there's no bill for that. You know what I mean? So trust me, we might be able to get this thing under $8,000, probably $10,000 or less. Maybe even 8. For him, you know what I mean? That's literally, I paid 8. I had to pay 8. So if we can get him at 8 in 29 years later, I think or 25 years later, we're doing pretty good, huh? Woo! Hercules! Anyways, I want to ask you a few questions on this. Do you support Texas public universities only giving scholarships to legal Texans and legal citizens? And I'm thinking about other people. My friend Randy Martin, my sponsor from IRSprob.com. Randy's son goes to UT right now, and he gets scholarships. He's not illegal. It's possible some of those scholarships could be taken from him, or my son from the Texas public university he goes to. My questions are: do you support our public universities starting to only give scholarships to legal citizens and legal Texans? And do you want to see this ban at all of our public Texas universities, colleges, and community colleges, whether it be DCCD in Dallas, Collin College, Denton College, Wise, Parker, Rockwall, Hood, Johnson, Ellis, Kaufman, all of them? I do. I want all of our counties to ban them from getting a scholarship. How about you? 800-288-WBAP is our number. And what do you want to tell this illegal woman who's mad and angry? What do you want to tell her? 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Time to chime in right now. Sound off at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. I would tell her, listen, I understand you're mad and you have a reason to be mad, but you're being mad at the wrong people. We don't owe you anything. Your parents owe you an explanation for why they did this to you. They put you in this situation. You're not entitled to anything. And the fact that you're not grateful, I don't hear any gratitude out of you. You need to learn what gratitude is, and you need to do that. Practice that. Like, that should be your first thing out of all this, is you be grateful you're even here, because you don't belong here. I don't want to say that mean-spirited, but just, you don't belong here. You're an illegal. Your parents snuck you in here. And you should be grateful that you're in one of the best universities in the state of Texas. And you should, depending on who you ask, it might be A&M in their opinion. Hook 'em or gig 'em. Not hook 'em. Anyway, I'm going to give you more details on this. What Texas lawmakers approved, with state and local law enforcement, with the ability to arrest what they have, and there's some other worries they have in our laws we passed, which are very good laws that just took effect this year. 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227. Charles and Denton will put you on first, plus your call. 4 lines open, 800-288-WBAP on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Okay, guys, the what's called the Monarch program, where illegals get scholarships. They take money from where you or I could maybe get scholarships. At UT, they've stopped it. They claim 2 reasons why. They say that, number one, the DEI ban is the chief reason, but they also use another excuse, according to the Dallas Morning News today, talking about a federal law that passed in 96. But dude, why were they offering it if they are citing that? That was like, it's been 28 years and you haven't stopped, and it hasn't stopped you, nor has it stopped several states, according to the news. But so we approved this new law, and we also approved another one. This is so great. Do you remember the one we approved that we can arrest illegals? State and local law enforcement can arrest illegals. So they also worry this could make it harder for them to get into college. You know what? It is so dang hard to get into UT, isn't it? Okay, now, you went to UNT, producer Garrett too. Garrett the second. We got 2 Garretts here, which is unprecedented, literally and figuratively. But he went to UNT. My son goes to one of our major universities, public ones here in North Texas. My friend and sponsor, Randy Martin, his eldest, Joseph, or Broseph, as I might call him in jest, goes to UT. And he told me the same thing, that we share intel. Our son's like the same age. We're going through the same things. We're married. And his son gets scholarships. And he told him, see, I told you, you're better off spending more time on those than you are with a job, because you make a lot more money than you do working. And he's exactly right. And so has my son done the same thing. I'm like, dude, on some of these, I said, look, you made $250 an hour, dude. So our sons are just alike. And I'll mention something else. My dear friend Randy, that I'm talking about, his wife is here from Mexico legally, and they have children and everything. But the point being is, here hobody has any disdain for anybody who's Hispanic or any other nation. But if you're illegal, you're not entitled to the same thing. Go take a hike. All right. So what would you tell this illegal who's angry and says this is unjust and unfair, and she was blindsided? And do you support our universities only giving scholarships to legal Texans like my son, like Randy's son, and your son or daughter? And do you want to see this ban at all public Texas universities, colleges, and community colleges, including the ones right here all over North Texas? 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Let's go to Charles in Denton. You're on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Hey, Charles.
Yeah, how are you doing, Chris? This is Charles, second-time caller.
Thank you. Well, I appreciate that. We don't have much of a buzz for second time, but we have the first time. I guess I can give you this. You get a short one. Go ahead.
All right, thanks. So I just want to let you know that as of right now, illegal aliens, they get in-state tuition in Texas. And if everybody's getting ready to vote in the Republican primary in about a month, Proposition 4, if you vote yes on that, they're trying to end that.
Oh, good. That's great. Are they going to put that on the ballot?
Yeah, it's on the Republican. They're trying to put it on the Republican platform.
I see what you're saying. Good. Oh, yes. I would love that on the platform. Would you vote for that?
Everybody needs to get ready to vote in the Republican primary. There's a lot of down ballot races, so we could try to get these rhinos out.
So, but will that be on the ballot, or will it just be on the platform? It's on the platform, so that means we won't be able to vote on it, but they'll be pushing for it, right?
It's on the ballot. It's a poll. They want to know what the Republican primary voters feel about it.
Yeah.
And they're going to try to put it.
Ooh. Okay. So look for it on the ballot.
Yeah, it's Proposition 4.
Okay, we're in. I'm in. Thank you, brother. Let's go for the primaries. So like when we vote for Trump, for example, in the primaries coming up. That's good. Okay, there you go. Proposition 4. Vote for it. It'll also spell it out. Read those and check it off, brother man and sister man. Russell and Allen, you're on News Talk 820 WBA. By the way, real fast, Russell, hold on, stand by. I want you to be able to chime in right now. Sound off at 800-288-WBAP. We've got 4 lines open, 800-288-9227. That's 800-288-WBAP. Russell and Allen on News Talk 820 WBAP. Hello, my friend.
Chris, how are you doing, sir?
Great, brother. Long time no talk. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Everybody's great. Kids
good.
Are great. Over the house, everybody's good.
God bless you.
I just wanted to mention that these people who are illegal, okay, a lot of them don't pay taxes. A lot of them, take care. They use our services, our social services, our extensive infrastructure that we have here,
right.
And they're really reaping the benefits of something and then they want to complain about the freedom that we provide for them.
Yes.
And if they lived in their own country, they would certainly wouldn't enjoy the level of freedom they have.
What kind of a university would she have access to if she was in, I don't know where she's from, her name is Lupe, from whatever Latin American country she is illegal from, perhaps. What kind of school would she go to there? So, I mean, is it better than UTD? Is it
high school?
I'm sorry, is it better than UT? What?
I'd be willing to bet they wouldn't even have to have the opportunity to go to high school, most of them.
Yeah, exactly. And here she is, living off the fat of the land, complaining because her parents brought her here as an illegal when she was younger, apparently. So how is that our problem? How is that? How is it? Should she be angry about this? What would you say to her, Russell?
Well, I would say that my son and I paid for her college, for his college, and my daughter's college. I paid for it out of my own pocket, and you can do the same.
There you go. Absolutely. What school are you going to pay for it, or she is going, or what do you got?
My daughter has finished her first 2 years at Collin, and my son is going to Collin right now. So, like I said, it's just a wonderful program they have there.
Yes, they do.
I'm thankful we have that infrastructure.
It is. Collin's great, and then are they can they do all 4 years there, or are they going to go somewhere else?
They actually have several 4-year programs at Collin now, at Collin College. Yeah, it's really up and coming.
Good to hear that. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about it. Thank you very much, Russell. Great to hear from you. Look forward to your next call, brother.
Yes, sir. Bye-bye.
All right, take care. 800-288-WBAP is our number, 800-288-9227. Sound off right now on News Talk 820 WBAP. We got 4 lines open, 800-288-WBAP. Do you support Texas public universities only giving scholarships to legal Texans and legal citizens like your son, my son, your daughter, my daughter? And do you want to see this ban at all public universities in Texas, colleges and community colleges, all of them? And I say absolutely yes. For example, if you, interestingly here, if you for example, the in-state tuition thing. That's exactly what our 2 callers ago was saying. It'll be on the primary with the Republican platform that we can vote for. Yes, 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 yes. Yes. So, and if she's got problems, she's angry about it, which she is, and she's an ingrate, well, then go to your parents. Maybe you can go back to the country you came from with your parents and see how it goes there. Tell us how it goes. We look forward to that. And see if you enjoy it as much as you do here. See if you will complain like you do here. Then you'll have something to complain about there. Cartels might be running things where you're at. So go. If you want to do that, go enjoy it. No thanks for me. Okay. It's time coming up next on the Chris Crock Show. We will be getting into Nikki Haley and the Republican committee, RNC, Republican National Committee, had a proposal listed by one of its board members that was going to kick her off the ballot and basically say Trump's the nominee. And she's out. And in fact, Ronna McDaniel, the head of the Republican Party, the RNC head, if you will, not the head of the Republican Party is Donald J. Trump. The head of the RNC is Ronna McDaniel, and Ronna McDaniel actually went along with this and said, yeah, she needs to step aside. It's time to step down. And all these people are saying in this Fox News article I'll share with you coming up next about how she needs to get out. It's done. And a whole bunch of her major donors have said she's got to pull out, she's done, and they've stopped giving her money. That's when you know you're done. She's done. She's done. There's been a twist in it today, a developments I'm going to share with you coming up next on the Chris Crock Show that you do not want to miss. And the question we'll ask is, do you think Nikki Haley should get off the ballot? And do you think they should declare Trump the nominee? 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. You're going to hear some great audio put together of Nikki Haley and why she's a disaster. And you get to chime in next about what you think about this. That's next on the Chris Crock Show on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. Okay, you hear from Nikki Haley contradicting herself over and over again in a moment. But right now on News Talk 820 WBAP and now on FM at 93.3. By the way, make it a preset at 93.3. Before we talk about whether or not the Republicans should kick Nikki Haley off the ballot, if she should hang it up, and what the latest twists are on it today, first thing I want to do is let Mike chime in from Amarillo, who's called in at 800-288-WBAP, 800-288-9227 on the illegals getting in-state tuition. Mike, in the great city of Amarillo, from the Great Texan. Are you at the Great Texan right now, stuffing your face on that table for the all-you-can-eat thing, if you can get it for free, if you eat the whole thing? No? Yeah?
No, I'm not there, but I've been there several times.
Me too. Isn't the steak good, though, by the way? Well, you never got the steak?
Yeah, they're good.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I didn't do the 72 ounce. If that's what you're asking. There's no way I could put that thing down.
You know what I say about that? They win every time. Here's how they win. They get free advertising, which is a lot more expensive than 72-ounce steak plate with their costs. That's thousands and thousands of dollars. They put a press release out and everything like that. But number two, and they have to have a picture of the person with the bib and everything. I bet you, all disgusting, looking happy slob that's about to vomit from both ends. But or the person has to pay for it because they couldn't finish it. So they always win. They never lose on that.
They might as well be in Vegas.
That's exactly right. The house never loses. Go ahead, sir. Great call.
Well, so I'm an educator. I've been in K-12 education for over 20 years.
Awesome. Thank you.
And from in the classroom and in administration. And man, you're touching on a big topic of mine because we've been supporting these illegals in public schools forever. And you cannot imagine the number of resources, staff, and money that goes towards that. And, our hardworking American taxpayers have been paying for that all these years.
Right.
And it's like, when are we going to stop doing this? It puts a strain on education, as you know. And I'm just saying, let's go full money and let's do the whole thing.
I agree. And what universities do you have in the Amarillo area? I'm not familiar.
So there's West Texas A&M University,
there you go.
And that's in Canyon, just outside of Amarillo.
Good.
There's, of course, Texas Tech is in the Lubbock area.
Yes.
So
how far is that from you, like an hour?
hour and 30 minutes or
Yeah,
so, I guess,
okay.
maybe from Amarillo. Yeah.
Yeah, over by there. Well, listen, I appreciate your call, my friend, from the beautiful Panhandle, where Amarillo is, of course. Appreciate your call very much, all right?
Okay, thanks so much.
And what is it called? Paladuro Canyon.
Oh, man, it's beautiful.
I know. I've been there. I love it. That whole part of the state is so different. Go ahead.
Yeah, second biggest canyon in the United States. It's amazing.
It is. It's gorgeous. Yeah. I urge everybody to go. It is unbelievable. That's in the middle of Amarillo, like out in the fields. Well, not in the middle of it, but nearby. And no, we loved it. And
I would say if you come back to the area, go to Caprock Canyons. They still have one of the last remaining herds from Charles Goodnight of the bison.
Oh, yeah. So that's incredible. Yeah. And let me tell you one more thing, too, is when I love driving, here's what I love. When you get about 2 hours west, when you start getting west of Fort Worth to where you start seeing the green, the deep sage green is like, and you see that and you see the tumbleweeds, I just am in heaven.
Right, we like the green too. We're usually in drought. We don't always.
I know that sucks. I've seen the tumbleweeds by you. It's not as exciting. Take care, man.
For sure.
All right, bye.
Okay, thanks. Have a good night.
All right, you too. All right, so here's Nikki Haley and her contradictions, her manifold contradictions. But I'll tell you this: all of a sudden, I will say this: the RNC. Trump said he's against taking her off the ballot. He says, let her fight, I'll beat her. And she says, don't take me off the ballot, how dare you. So the RNC withdrew it today. But I still think she should be taken off the ballot because it's a disgrace. She's done. She'll be gone within a few weeks to a month. She will not make it to South Carolina. You watch. She has failed. And in fact, you're going to hear from many of her mega donors, they're all pulling out. And in fact, they're on the record, some of them. It's fantastic. I'll tell you about that in a minute. 800-288-WBAP is our number. Do you think the Republicans should kick Nikki Haley off the ballot regardless? And or do you just think Nikki Haley should get off the dang ballot right now and declare Trump the nominee? 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. Chime in right now at 800-288-WBAP. 800-288-9227. Here is, and by the way, what happened was they said, who cares? Here's what one of the folks said. This is a spokesperson for the Haley campaign. Who cares what the RNC says? We'll let millions of Republican voters across the country decide who should be our party's nominee, not a bunch of Washington insiders. She is a Washington insider. She is the Washington insider. She's where all the big money is. She's where the Republican backbone that gives amnesty and wants the illegals and sells this country out and wants to fight in Ukraine. And have our blood and treasure and our money go to Ukraine, to a corrupt dictator over there. That's who she is. She's the establishment. I love how they act like that. Everything she says, every line she says, she's lying through her floss teeth. 800-288-WBAP, chime in at 800-288-9227. Do you think that Nikki Haley should get off the ballot? Just say, I'm done. I lost Trump's hit, and it's obvious. I mean, do you really think she has a chance and she should stay on that ballot? I certainly don't. Let's hear what her mega donors say. This is what I love. Here, mega donors to drop Haley before the South Carolina primary. Metal magnet, Andy Sabin. You have to know when to hold them, when to fold them, when to walk away. He talks about he quotes the gambler. He says it's time for Nikki Haley to walk away. Here's another one. And here's how you know Nikki Haley is a Democrat. Here you go. Democrat billionaire donor Reid Hoffman, who's the co-founder of LinkedIn. He's woke. He gave her tons of money. He wanted her. Do you hear? The woke leftist lead co-founder of LinkedIn, who's a Democrat billionaire donor, donated her campaign. That's who she is. She's a fraud, and we all know it. He says, we invested in Governor Haley when we thought she had a shot of winning. He said, she's done. He's done. He says, I need to see a new case, new evidence to persuade me. So he's not giving her any money. So they've all stopped. Here's another one. This is another mega donor here. There's absolutely no upside to her going to South Carolina, and there's a tremendous downside. If you can't win in your own state, there's no reason to go on. Exactly right. And let's see here. This is another anonymous mega donor. Without a New Hampshire win, she doesn't have the momentum she needed to win South Carolina, and without a lane to go in South Carolina, she has no chance at Super Tuesday. So there you go. There you go. 800-288-WBAP is our number. Do you think Nikki Haley should just drop out and end this? Do you think it's over? Do you think Trump is the nominee? I have some fantastic Nikki Haley audio of her hypocrisy that I will play for you. Let's see.
For claiming the retirement age is, quote, DeSantis is hitting you for claiming the retirement age is, quote, way, way too low.
I have never once said that. But what we do know is 65 is way too low, and we need to increase that. We need to do it according to life expectancy.
I never once said Hillary Clinton was an inspiration.
I often say that the reason I got into politics was because of Hillary Clinton.
I never said government should go and require anyone's name.
A huge issue that I'll deal with as soon as I get there is social media. They need to verify every single person on their outlet, and I want it by name.
What I have always said is boys go into a boys' bathroom, girls go into a girls' bathroom. But hold on one second.
When I was governor, they wanted to bring in a bathroom bill, a transgender bathroom bill, and I strong-armed and said, we are not going to have that in South Carolina.
She said the law shouldn't get involved in that. And I just ask you, if you're somebody that's going to be the president of the United States and you can't stand up against child abuse, how are you going to be able to stand up for anything? That is the truth. We have it on video.
Yeah, we heard her say it. This woman, that's like 5 bald-faced, disgusting lies that are incredibly important to all of us. This woman is a super fraud. She is a fraud. She's a fraud of a fraud of a fraud. She's not even the third cheap copy from China. What a disgrace this woman is. Get out, you failure. Your own state has cuckolded you. None of them want you. You're down 31 points. You're done. You're out. Bye. Get out of here. You're annoying us. Get out. Bzz, bzz. All right. Up next, we'll ask you that question. You can chime in. Do you think the Republicans should actually just end this? Should she just end this and get off? Is it time to let her go and it's Trump, whether we like it or not? 800-288-WBAP is our number. 800-288-9227. I'm going to share what Carville says about this, which is funny. What the Wall Street Journal says about it, which is evidence to show no thanks. And then Reuters, the latest poll is amazing with Trump. Then we're going to get into social media. Should it be declared an environmental toxin? Next.